All right, affirmative. Ready?
Resolved. State colleges and universities should be free for state residents. Picture this. You're stuck living on the streets your whole life, with no job, no family, and no life, just because you didn't have just the right amount of money to get into a college. We believe paying for college is a waste of money, puts students into student loan debt, and it's unfair, because prisoners can get a free education, but not us. We believe college is a waste of families' money, because most people just drop out when their schooling isn't going well anyways. According to the Washington Post, only half of students who enroll in a college get a degree. Unlike Germany, 75% of people who enroll in a college get a degree. Also, the cost of college has risen over 500% in the past 30 years. So if paying for college is only causing issues, why not make it free? It wouldn't cause any harm for anyone, and would only do good for everyone. Paying for college is also stressful. Almost every student goes into student loan debt. New York Times recently profiled a 26-year-old woman who was a photographer's assistant and was paid $22 per hour, but she had $97,000 in student loan debt. Also, there's a total of $1.1 trillion in student loan debt. And not only does debt affect the students while they're in college, but it affects them their whole lives. With how far they've been put into debt, they could be paying it off for the rest of their lives. So, debt is unfair, but the prisoners in jail who have committed crimes get a free education. How's that for unfair? According to Officer Gray, 94% of prisoners getting an education had a great change in personalities and actions. So maybe if everyone has the shot at a free education, then everyone will be more determined to do well in school. Put yourself in their shoes. You're living in your mom's basement at age 45, but the guy who was drunk driving and killed your brother and dad, he's getting paid every single week and has a home of his own. But just because you weren't born into a family of money, you're stuck in a hole for the rest of your life. So if you believe that every hardworking student should have a chance of going far in their career, then free college is a must.
Okay, negative opening demeanor.
The world is not designed to be free. Everything comes with a cost. College tuition should not be free because living costs are not covered if college tuitions are free. So people still have to pay for living spaces. If college tuition is free, that does not eliminate all of the other expenses you have to pay while attending college. Students will need to pay for housing, food, and textbooks. So it will not necessarily be free. Another reason there should not be free tuition is because it helps some people, but is not the most efficient use of money. If it is from state or government funding, that is a poor use of money because what about the lack of funding already in other categories? We do not have a place for free tuition. Also, U.S. colleges have more value, so they should cost more. People constantly drill on the poor education in America, but that is false because colleges here have great opportunities for people of all genders and races.
First off, living expenses are not covered if college tuition is free. Free tuition results in debt for students because they need to move to be closer to school. If colleges are not free, like today, living costs are paid for when food are not needed to attend college. Poor students have to pay a lot of money at one time for an apartment and such, and not over a period of time like paid tuition, so it's easier to pay it off. Another reason that college should not be free is that free tuition helps some people get higher paying jobs. It's not the most efficient use of money. The U.S. should be trying to pay off the national debt, not destroying our economy with free tuition. Everything, at one time or another, has to be paid for because nothing is free in the U.S. Even dirt has to be paid for. So somebody has to pay for education. It's not free or what we think free is. The definition of free is without cost or payment. But if you think about it, who pays for library books? The answer is taxes. At a young age, kids think that free things are free, but that's not true with taxes. Taxes help pay things that you can't pay for at the moment, or that you shouldn't pay for at the moment. It's the same with college. Everything has to be paid for at one time or another. So free tuition is not free. So what's the point of having tuition that is paid through taxes and not paid at all, and ruining our economy? And finally, U.S. colleges have more value than colleges in other countries. Colleges should cost more because they provide a better education, and people should want to pay more because it's worth more than other countries' colleges. Quotes.org said, "We often compare the high cost of American colleges to how much cheaper universities are in Europe, but it's not always a fair comparison. Most universities are public, and students often live off campus with their families. It makes sense that colleges should cost more because they have more value, just like private schools and public schools. You probably have better education in private schools because they cost more. It's the same with college. College tuition should not be free because something that has more value should cost more, so it makes sense that colleges should not be free."
All right, a minute to prepare for rebuttals. Affirmative rebuttal.
My opponent says that college expenses will help you manage your money later in life, but it actually takes a toll on your mental health. According to the University of South Carolina, student loan debt causes anxiety, depression, higher blood pressure, stroke, and suicide. One day this will be you. Therefore, college should be free for in-state residents. Also, my opponent says that the quality of college will go down, but we disagree. There's still a lot of money to go to college with free tuition. According to myfuture.org, the average cost of living on campus is about $10,000 per year. This can go towards funding, getting teachers, and there's also athletics that will pay for this too. Therefore, college should be free for in-state residents.
My opponent says the prisoners have free education, so we should too. Well, we argue that no one should have free education, especially not the criminals behind bars. Our opponent also says that it wouldn't hurt anybody, but in fact it would ruin our economy, and living costs wouldn't be included, so people would have to pay more to have an apartment outside of college. It would also ruin our economy. If you're going to college for free, why would you want to work hard in school? Like, you have no incentive to do anything.
Closings?
We all agree in-state tuition should be free. We've already shown that college is a waste of money because only half of the college students actually get a degree, and with all those awful loans, they can make you in debt in a matter of seconds. And we also have shown that college dropouts. According to DoSomething.com, after World War II, the United States was #1 in graduation rate in the world. Today, we have dropped to 22nd among 27 industrialized nations, and that's just in high school. We should also point out that in many different countries like Germany, they have free college that is working great, but still allowing the same academics. According to Dorothy Staplefield, tuition fees discourage young people who do not have a traditional family background from taking up study. It is a core task of politics to ensure that young women and men can take up study with high quality, free of charge. And as stated by Bernie Sanders, that is why every year 4,500 students move to Germany to enroll. People might ask, why move to Germany? Well, around 900 undergraduate and graduate degrees are offered exclusively in English. I don't think we want to move to Germany just to get free college, but live 4,541,000 miles away from our family. Would you want to break your bank or break your family bond? I hope you choose wisely.
There is no reason college should be free. Colleges in the U.S. are among the best rated in the world. If they became free, the best colleges in the world would be taking in students for no cost, while colleges in other countries would still cost money. And when colleges are making absolutely no money, it's hard to improve the campus and the program. Also, if tuition is free, living costs are not covered, which means poorer students go more into debt. If we offer free education, we would destroy the U.S. economy and make jobs harder to find.
Do I do a second one?
That's what we're asking. Do you want a second one? And we're good. We can end it here if you want. Okay, cool. Clap for this group. They did a good job.